Good morning, students. We'll start a new chapter called as motion and time. You learnt about different types of motions in class 6th. You learned that a motion could be along a straight line, it would be circular or periodic. These are some of the examples. Soldiers in a march fast. They go along a straight line. Bullock cart moving in a straight on a move. It is also moving. Hands of an athlete is periodic motion. Pedal of a bicycle in motion, circular motion. Motion of the earth around the sun, circular motion. Motion of a swing is periodic motion. Motion of a pendulum is also a periodic motion. In 6th standard, we studied different kinds of motion. We studied different kinds of motion. It is common experience that the motion of some object is slow while that some is others fast. We know that some vehicle move faster than others. Even the same vehicle may move faster or slower at different times. You can group the motion of objects as slow and fast. If vehicles are moving on a road in the straight line, same direction, we can easily tell which one of them is moving faster than other. The distance moved by an object in a given interval of time can help us decide which one is faster and which one is slow. For example, imagine that you have gone to see a friend at the bus stand. Suppose you start pedaling the bicycle at the same time as the bus begins to move. The distance covered by you after 5 minutes would be much smaller than the distance covered by the bus. Say the bus is moving faster, we often say faster vehicle has a higher speed. In a 100-meter race, it is easy to decide whose speed is the highest. One who takes the shortest time to cover the distance of 100 meters has the highest speed. We will take up speed. You are probably familiar with the word speed. In the examples given above, a higher speed seems to indicate that a given distance has been covered in a shorter time. In the sense, speed is equal to distance travelled by time taken. Speed is equal to distance travelled by time taken. Distance travelled by time taken. The most convenient way to find out which of the two or more objects is moving faster is to compare the distances moved by them in a unit time. Thus, if we know the distance covered by two buses in 1 hour, we can tell which one is faster. We can call the distance covered by an object in unit time as the speed of the object. When we say that a car is moving with a speed of 50 km per hour, it implies that it covers a distance of 50 km in 1 hour. However, a car seldom moves with a constant speed for 1 hour. First, it starts moving slowly and then picks up speed. So we can say that the car has a speed of 50 km per hour. We usually consider only the distance covered by it in 1 hour. We do not bother whether the car has been moving at a constant speed or not during the hour. The speed calculated here is actually the average speed of the car. In this book, we shall use the term average speed. So for us, the speed is total distance covered by total time taken. Speed is total distance covered by total time taken. Speed is total distance covered by total time taken. In everyday life, we seldom find objects moving with a constant speed over long distance for long duration of time. The speed of an object moving along a straight line keeps changing. Its motion is said to be non-uniform. On the other hand, an object moving along the straight line with a constant speed is said to be in uniform motion. In this case, the average speed is same as the actual speed. In life, if an object speed of an object moving along a straight line keeps changing, its motion is said to be non-uniform. On the other hand, if an object moving along a straight line with constant speed is said to be in motion. In this case, the average speed is same as the actual speed. We can determine the speed of a given object. We can measure the time taken it to cover a certain distance. In class 6, you have learned how to measure the distances. Measurement of time. If you do not have a clock, how will you decide what time of day it is? Have you ever wondered how our elders could tell approximate time just by looking at the shadows? How do we measure time interval, a month, a year? Or interested notice that many events in nature repeat themselves after a definite interval of time. For example, they found that sun rises every day in the morning. The time between one sunrise and the next was called a day. Similarly, one new month was measured from one new moon to next. A year as fixed as the time was taken by the earth to complete one revolution around the sun. Often we need to measure intervals of time which are much shorter than a day. Clocks or watches perhaps most common time measuring devices. We wondered how clocks and watches measure time. The working of clocks is rather complex, but all of them make use of some periodic motion. One of the most well-known periodic motion is that of simple pendulum. Simple pendulum. A simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball or a piece of stone suspended from a rigid stand by a thread. The metallic ball is called the bob of the pendulum. It's called the bob of the pendulum. Figure 3.4 shows that pendulum at rest in its mean position. When the bob of the pendulum is released after taking it slightly to one side, it begins to move to and fro. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of periodic or an oscillatory motion. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob, starting from its main position, moves to A, to B and back to O. Pendulum also completes one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position to another extreme position B, one extreme position A, extreme position B, then comes back to A. Time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called as time period. Our ancestors noticed that many events in nature repeat themselves after definite intervals of time. For example, they found that sun rises every day. In the morning, the time between one sunrise and the next was called a day. Similarly, a month was measured from one new moon to another. A year was fixed as time taken to complete one revolution of the day. Often we need to measure intervals of time which are much shorter than a day. Clocks or watches are perhaps have the most common time measuring devices. The working of clocks is rather complex, but all of them make use of some periodic motion. The most well-known periodic motion is that of simple pendulum. A simple pendulum consists of small metallic ball or a piece of stone from a rigid standby. The metallic ball is called bob. When the bob of the pendulum is released, it begins to move to and fro. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is called as oscillatory motion. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob, starting from its mean position, moves from A to B and back to O. The pendulum also completes one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position A to another extreme position B and comes back to you. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called as time period. To set the pendulum in motion, gently hold the bob and move it slightly to one side. Make sure that the string attached to the bob is taut while you displace it. Now release the bob from its displaced position. Remember, the bob is not to be pushed when it is released. Note the time of the clock when the bob is at its mean position. Instead of mean position, you may note the time when the bob is at one of the extreme position. Measure the time taken by the pendulum takes to complete 20 oscillations. Record your observation. First observation shown is just a sample. Our observations could be different. By dividing the time taken for 20 oscillations by 20, we get the time taken for one oscillation or time period of the pendulum. Notice the slight change in initial displacement does not affect the period of our pendulum. Nowadays, most clocks and watches have an electric circuit with one or more cells. These clocks are called quartz clocks. The time measured by quartz clocks is much more accurate than the clocks available earlier. The basic unit of time is a second. Its symbol is S. The larger unit of time are minutes. You already know that these units are related to one another. What would be the basic unit of speed? Since speed is distance by time, the basic unit of speed is meters per second. Of course, it could also be expressed in other units such as per meter, kilometer per hour, meters per minute, or kilometer per hour. The SI unit of time is second. Its symbol is S. Larger unit of time are measured in minutes and hours. Since the speed in distance is time, the basic unit of speed is meters per second. Of course, it will also be expressed. You must remember that all symbol of all units are written in singular. For example, we write 50 kilometer, not 50 kilometers. 8 centimeter, not 8 centimeters. Bojo is wondering how many seconds are there day and how many hours in a year. Can I help him? Different units of time are used depending on the need. Different units of time are used depending on the need. For example, it is convenient to express our age in years rather than in days or hours. Similarly, it will not be wise to express in years the time taken for you to cover the distance between your home and school. How small or large is the time interval of 1 second? Time taken in saying aloud 10 2001 is nearby 1 second. Verified by counting aloud from 2001 to 2010. The pulse of a normal healthy adult at rest beats at about 72 times per minute. That is about 12 times in second. 12 times in 10 seconds. This rate may be slightly higher for children. Many times measuring devices were used in different parts of the world before pendulum clocks became popular. Sundials, water clocks and sand clocks are some examples of such devices. Thank you.